Is the U.S. ready for another impeachment? Well, House Republicans are moving closer to opening an impeachment inquiry against President Joe Biden. And it comes as they spent a good part of this year in a series of investigations into the Biden family's business dealings. In the likely case they do, the White House is preparing with about 24 lawyers, legislative aides, and communication staffers ready to respond. Joining us now on this is Niall Stanage, White House columnist with our partner, The Hill. Thanks so much for being here, Niall.
Good to be with you, Natasha.
Niall, are Republicans about to try to impeach Biden?
Not yet, but it may be coming. They are in the process of setting in process an investigation related to impeachment that could eventually lead to an actual impeachment. But it was only back in June that you might remember Congresswoman Lauren Boebert introducing articles of impeachment. The leadership of Republicans in the House of Representatives basically sidelined that measure, sending it to committee. So this is really about giving more teeth to the investigation of the president rather than launching actual articles of impeachment at this point.
Okay. And Niall, we know the administration is responding, the White House saying in part, quote, instead of pursuing this shameless and baseless impeachment stunt, House Republicans and Speaker McCarthy should join the president to work on continuing to bring down inflation and lower costs, create jobs and grow the economy. So that's that quote. Niall, is there any danger that Republicans overplay their hand here and this talk of impeachment backfires?
Yes, I think there is. I think that's what the White House is highlighting in that statement. The White House's view is that the impeachment talk might appeal to the most committed members of the Republican base, but can seem like a sort of ideologically driven irrelevance to voters in the centre ground, who may well be more concerned about inflation or healthcare costs or education, or any number of so-called kitchen table issues. The other point briefly, Natasha, is there are 18 House Republicans who represent districts that were carried by President Biden in 2020. Are those Republicans going to be rushing to vote to impeach him? Many people think not, because they think that those representatives could be signing their own political death warrant if they did that.
That's very interesting. And, you know, Niall, it seems like the president's plate is very full right now. What do you think is most concerning for his team at this moment? Is it the investigations into Hunter Biden, the supposed tell-all book on his first 2 years that's coming out soon? As you mentioned, public dissatisfaction with the economy, his response to Maui, and we were just speaking with those East Palestine residents, his lack of being on the ground in East Palestine. I mean, the list just seems to go on, Niall.
That's quite a long list to choose from, for sure, but I think the economy is the biggest concern to the White House and to President Biden's allies, for a very simple reason. Their whole argument as they look toward re-election is premised on the idea that he has an impressive economic record and that voters can be sold on that economic record. Now, perhaps they can. They're just in the process of launching a $25 million ad campaign to make that case. But if voters remain resistant to the president on the economy, that spells very, very deep trouble for him as he seeks a second term.
Okay, Niall Stanage, always appreciate the context and time. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.